All right, never mind.
Don't worry, Sue, I'm working on it.
Yeah, we're getting it.
Thank you.
I'm on it.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started.
So be sure and type your name, your phone number, and if you want to put your email in, you can, and the name of your company you represent in the chat.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. If you're cold, it feels good. No. Good morning. Welcome to Senior State Concierge meeting at Brookdale, and thank you, Keely, for hosting us here, as always. So welcome. Thanks for taking the time to be here. My name is Bill Graff. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the Senior State Concierge for visitors. And then we have a special speaker today, Shannon Coppa, on End of Life Doulas. And then we also will have some guests coming on from the Twilight Wish Foundation up in Pennsylvania. And we'll tell a little bit more about that. So with that, when we do our introductions, just since we have a lot going on today, just name and company, keep it short, okay? And if you want, you can say what chapter you're in, if you remember, or chapters. So again, Bill Graff here. I am a real estate agent and broker. Started the Senior State Concierge about 3 years ago as an idea based on some of my business helping families move mom and dad into assisted living, and they needed help. And so I started this just as a way to help people. And that's what we're all about, is serving. For our guests, this is not a traditional networking group. We are a resource and solutions and education organization. So we have vetted and trusted members. That's what we're all about. We have several chapters organizing as we speak and growing. And so that's pretty much in a nutshell. I won't go too much into it. If you want some more information, then give it to me and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Okay. And I'm talking to Mark because you're the one visitor here, and everybody else has heard me talk about it multiple times. So, all right, Stephen. So with that, let's go around and do quick introductions, and then we're going to let Shannon do her presentation. And I think one of the Twilight Wish folks is getting online, so that's good. So let's start online. And go ahead, Keely. Why don't you start, and then you can call on somebody else online.
Great. Thank you all for coming today. I'm so sorry I could not be there. My name is Keely Jones. I am the Business Development Director for Brookdale Senior Living. We provide independent living, assisted living, as well as memory care within our communities. We have 18 communities in the Houston market. I help support 9 of those. And you are there at our Brookdale Shadow Lake, which is an assisted living and memory care. Again, sorry, I wish I could be there. And I'm glad that you all are. Miss Sue, I'll let you take it from here.
Hi, I'm Sue with Pack and Send Movers. We help seniors downsize. We help them decide what they want to take, what will fit in their new living situation. We pack for them, we move and we unpack. We let them decide what they want us to pack. And if they want to pack on their own or their family members do, that's fine too. It's totally up to them. We've been in business since, well, over 40 years now. And we just have specialized with our seniors. If they don't want something, we will send it to family members throughout the United States and throughout the world. We can even send furniture for them, and they feel like they are winning when they're moving rather than losing, because their family members tell them how much they enjoy using the seniors' possessions. Sue Levine with Pack and Send Movers. Thank you.
Heidi, how about you go next?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Heidi Russell. I own a company called Caring Transitions. We do also helping mainly seniors, but anybody who needs us to help them declutter their homes so that they can downsize either to age in place or to move to a community like over on Shadow Lake. But we also do online auctions and estate sales. And with the online auctions, there was so many neighborhoods not allowing folks to do physical sales in their neighborhood, we do have that option that we can do online, which does go out nationwide. We also help them pack up, we help them move, and we help them unpack completely and get them all organized and settled in their new home. Heidi Russell, Caring Transitions.
Excellent, thank you. Mary?
Hi, my name is Mary Farrell. I'm Director of Community Relations here at Twilight Wish Foundation. We're a national nonprofit that grants the wishes of low-income seniors.
Thank you, Mary. Peter?
Good morning, everybody. Peter Stinson. I'm the Executive Director for Twilight Wish Foundation. I work with Mary as well as Randy.
Thank you. Welcome. Suzanne?
I meant to unmute myself, sorry. My name is Suzanne Coates. I'm with Mobility Plus in Sugar Land. We have scooters, ramps, lifts, a variety of products for seniors or even anyone with a disability. And our motto is go where you want to go. So we try to keep people mobile and help with fall prevention and aging in place.
Thank you. Thank you, Randy.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for inviting us. I'm Randy Duretz. I'm here in Ocala, Florida. I'm the National Director of Chapters for Twilight Wish Foundation. We grant wishes and dreams for our 65 plus deserving seniors.
Thank you and welcome. Shauna?
Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Shauna Jefferson, the executive chef and owner of Chefs for Seniors, North and Southeast Houston Metro, where we provide in-home personal chef services to seniors who can no longer cook for themselves or who just don't want to cook for themselves anymore. So we help them maintain their independence and improve their quality of life by providing them with their own personal chef to prepare healthy meals in the comfort of their home.
Excellent. Thank you, Shauna. Boyd?
Good morning, everyone. Boyd Hanley with the Hanley Law Office. We do estate planning, wills and trust, special needs planning, guardianships, elder law, and probate. Thank you.
Thank you, Boyd. Elizabeth Griever?
Good morning. I'm Elizabeth Griever. My company is Everson Cooper, and we work with seniors who are transitioning out of their longtime senior home into a senior community or moving in with family, and they have a house that's dated or distressed and they need to sell it as is. So I work alongside Bill. We can both be of service to these seniors and just help them move on and transition from their home. I'm Elizabeth with Everson Cooper.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And Bill, you did such a good job last time. I'm going to let you introduce me once again.
This is Marion LaSalle. She is our marketing director, and she is awesome. And if you haven't seen some of our materials and things that she has done for us, go out on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, go out on Facebook, look us up on Facebook. Oh, there goes the TV again. Anyway, so Marion is awesome. So if you need help with anything, call me or call her. Marketing especially, call her. Okay. Our TV just went out again, so sorry about that. But not that you guys care. You won't see it. So, all right. So let's go. Is that everybody online? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go. For everybody in here, let's go. It's a tricky TV. All right, so let's just go down the rows and again, real quick, just who you are and name of your company, okay? So that we have enough time for presentations. Okay, Jim, we'll start.
Gail Silverberg, Senior Wellness Consultant, helping seniors and their families live longer, healthier lives. For a free copy the new book on health, Gut Matters, email Gail at gailstoltenberg.com.
Bashade with Advanced Healthcare Practice. I'm a nurse practitioner. I do house calls. I am a primary care provider, and I also do telemedicine in Texas. House calls is just in Harris in Fort Bend County. Thank you.
If you look at the camera on the computer.
Yeah.
All right.
Be sure and speak up, please.
I'm Caroline Ortego with Ortego and Urick. We're a law firm that does elder law, estate planning, and probate.
Mike Winfield, Senior Health Services. I'm a Medicare broker, and I'm working with Ms. Suzanne Coates on starting up the Southwest chapter for Sugar Land.
I'm Lori Ferris, the Senior Living Specialist.
Up to the laptop. Up to the laptop.
Oh, hi, I'm Lori Ferris, the Senior Living Specialist, and I help people navigate their maze of senior living communities.
Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Strauss. I'm one of the two owners of a company called All Organized. We help seniors go through the complete downsizing process, making custom floor plans, packing boxes, using our in-house movers to get them to their new space, and doing a complete new home setup. I'm glad everybody's here this morning.
Hi, I'm Monica Evans with MedCorp Preferred Hospice. Hospice isn't for dying anymore. We support families and their loved ones in the transition, in that last transition in their life. MedCorp Preferred Hospice, Monica Evans.
My name is Don Fruin. I am a Medicare specialist. I help people determine that maze of Medicare, help them find a proper insurance plan for them. But I start earlier than that in showing them how to enroll in Medicare and avoid all the mistakes that people make trying to enroll in Medicare. Again, Don Fruin, Fruin & Associates.
Good morning, I'm Alan Berger. I'm with Financial Flexibility Services. I help seniors who want to continue living in their homes find a way to financially be able to afford doing that.
Good morning. I'm a Christian, so I don't ask you to remember my last name, which is too difficult not to butcher and to spell. So it'll go by 101 Mobility, Christian 101 Mobility, the name of my company. And we have people stay safe and independent at home as long as possible with accessibility and mobility solutions.
Hi, I'm Carla Bauer with Evergreen Private Care. I'm a care manager, patient advocate, and our company provides services all the way from skilled nursing to care that I can move alongside. Care is coordinated and people get the proper attention that they need.
My name is Mark Jankowski. The company is MJ Residential. I'm a guest this morning. I think I'm the guest this morning. Okay. We solve the problem of what to do with the house. So when someone has lived in the house 30 or 40 years, and they're a little overwhelmed by all the things that they have to do to move out and sell the house and all that, we make it real easy by buying it directly and taking a lot of the work off of them, and partnering with companies like All Organized to make it a seamless move. So we focus on two areas, that is seniors that are making the transition and estates who have a house that they need to do something with. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here today. Good morning, I'm Joel Berry, an independent broker for years, specializing in life and long-term care insurance. I work with a number of companies, about a dozen for life insurance and 4 for long-term care. I also have a product, a short-term home health care insurance. And in addition to that, I also have a heart attack, stroke, and cancer policy, which is very simple. We get diagnosed and get a check. Joel Berry, independent broker.
And over there. Good morning, I'm Troy Williams with Oasis Senior Advisors, puzzle master of senior living and senior care. And you all are my puzzle pieces to help the families put together the box tops. So they know what that solution looks like for Oasis Senior Advisors.
Good morning, Stephen King, King Insurance Services. I'm a Medicare specialist. I help seniors understand what plan is best for them, but I also help their siblings, their children, understand what they should do to help mom and dad also. Or if they're getting ready to turn 65, what they need to do. How to go through the Medicare stop, sign up, and what it takes to get there. Stephen King, King Insurance Services, your Medicare specialist.
not least. Hi, I'm Dawn Burke. I'm with All About Home Care. We provide skilled post-acute adult home health services. We work in the greater Houston area within the 99 loop. That's about it. Dawn Burke, All About Home Care.
All right, very good. We get everybody? All right, well, good. Well, then, without further ado, Shannon is going to get up and talk about End of Life Doula. What is it?
I'm gonna, of course, now I lose my voice. I'm gonna bring my laptop up there just in case we lose the TV
Okay,
again.
I was going to say, I'll stay up here and keep on trying to do that. Marion's going to put the your presentation up there and then
All right.
try to keep us online.
All right. I know you guys probably won't be able to see this too well, but.
We can see it up here. Really.
Oh, good. Okay. So I'm an end of life doula. That's what it is. My name is Shannon Coppa. I'm also a patient advocate. End of life doula is not a credentialed career. So it's kind of a lay position, like people that do companion care, that kind of stuff, but I did go through training. So next, please. Marion's supposed to be clicking for me. No? Okay, here we go. A doula is a Greek word that means, obviously, a non-medical person that gives physical, emotional, and spiritual support. The classic definition of doula is a Greek word, and it means a woman who serves. But the current version is that it doesn't have to be a woman. Anybody can be a doula. So next, please. Awesome. So we are trained in the various end-of-life stages, which means part of my training was identifying, for example, somebody that has kidney cancer. That end of life is going to look very different than someone who has kidney failure. So all of the different types of end of lives, even though the last day is all very similar, building up to that point, the families often have questions. You know, why is the belly swollen? Why are they having a hard time breathing? Why are their eyes crossing? So all of them have different things that I can then educate and provide support and information on. Because I found if you know what's happening, it's a lot easier to release the fear. So. And also known as death midwives or end of life guides. We are 24/7. So when I sign on with a client, they have my direct phone number. They have a special ringtone in my phone. They can reach me at 3 in the morning if something happens. They can text me anytime. And that comes in handy because, sorry, I inhale and I forget to breathe out. Hospice is fabulous. I love hospice. I'm a huge proponent of hospice, but hospice does have limits on how much time they can spend in the client's home, and that includes nursing and also private care. So the person, the patient, help going to the bathroom or need help changing their sheets. 90% of that is by family, not by hospice. So oftentimes they, here we go. Oftentimes it's, they hear hospice and they think, oh great, somebody's going to be here and they're going to help me through this and they're going to take care of all of this for me and I don't have to worry about it. And that is not the case. You know, the family is the one going to be giving the medication. The family is the one going to be changing their underwear. The family is going to be there 90% of the time. And most often the family is the only one there when the patient actually passes away. Hospice gets called and they try to get there within 4 hours, but try is the operative word. It doesn't always happen as quickly as they'd like for it to happen. So I get, the next question is, see, it's not keeping up with me. Why do we need end-of-life doulas if we have hospice? And I hear that a lot because people hear what it is that I do and they're just like, oh, well, that's what hospice does. That is what hospice does, but hospice does it for so many hours per week as billable for Medicare. And being 24/7 and also being private pay, because I am not covered by insurance, that people can't use insurance to pay for me. So it makes for a much more intimate and connected relationship that I can have with this family, so that they don't feel left alone, basically. Hospice is fabulous for what they're good for, but they can't be there 24/7. So that's the biggest difference right there. End of life is 24/7. So the hospice team manages the care. So they do the medications, they subscribe the medications, they educate on how to give the medications. As a doula, and I'm also a patient advocate, board certified patient advocate. The one thing that I am not permitted to do is give medications. Pretty much anything else I can and have done. So that includes, you know, if I had one patient who, bless her heart, she soiled her bed 4 times within an hour, and we had to change the sheets. So it was like an over and over thing, and they couldn't have waited for hospice to come to that, because she would have been laying in her own mess for who knows how many hours. So, helping them, teaching them how to turn them without disturbing them, how to, you know, talk to them even if they're not conscious, and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and this is why I'm going to do it, and hold on, mom, we're just going to get this done real quick. And so having somebody there to walk somebody through that is very supportive in my opinion. Next. So 78 million people over the age of 65 in the United States. And 9 out of 10 of them say they want to be cared for at home. So that's a big deal, because not very many people are prepared to have that type of responsibility land on them. Death is the second leading fear in the United States. And does anybody care to guess the first?
Speaking in public.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And 20% of the 78 million elders do not have any children. This is something that I'll be looking at in about 20 some odd years, that I do not have children. My husband's 15 years older than I am. So figuring out what's going to happen is also something that I do as a doula. I can help prepare, you know, do you guys have a DPOA? Do you have any ideas about how you want it to go? Basically helping with the pre-planning, and that's where a lot of you guys come in handy, because then I can say, well, I've got Dawn, if you have any questions about Medicare and you need a lawyer, and I've got the perfect hospice person, physicians. So y'all are really a big part of what I bring to.
Is what, how is that compared to like the other documents that you need?
A durable power of attorney, in layperson's terms, it helps. It designates somebody to speak for you when you're not able to speak. So there's a whole bunch of different, which would be why I would send it to a lawyer. There's a whole bunch of different things, but most people don't even know, you know, or have heard, or maybe they've heard in passing. What's it? You know, this is a DPOA. You probably should think about getting one. Well, you know, Shannon, can you tell me what that is? Another really important part of that is you've heard of DNRs. So there's actually 2 forms of a DNR. DNRs can actually legally be disregarded by your physician if they think that it is not appropriate. So it's basically like, this is what I'd like to have happen. And the important, the more legally binding one is called a post. Physicians order life-sustaining treatment. And that one, if they disregard it, they would actually get into trouble. And as a doula, I did not know this. I've been a caregiver for a very long time. I've been a patient advocate, and I'd never even heard the term POLST, P-O-L-S-T. But that is something that would be very good for people to know about, because DNRs, you think of a DNR, yep, I've got it in the freezer, I've got it stuck on the fridge. But do we need a POLST? So, let's see here. You got ahead of me. So the benefits. The most important benefit on here that I consider, my personal self, is the increased sense of autonomy. As people age, a lot of times they feel like they're losing control, and they don't have They don't have to say anymore. They can't decide who gets the money. They can't decide who hires, you know. So having that sense of autonomy, having that sense of control, this is how I want things done, and this is why I want them done that way. And barring safety concerns, it's my job to help convey that to the family in a way that is dialogue, so that they can still feel like they have that small modicum of control at end of life, even when they can't walk, but they still want to have their tea in a specific mug, or they want this music playing. Do not bring that person in my house. I don't ever want to see them again. So whatever it is that they need to keep control of, I can help them frame that and present it and keep control of it. So next. Marion, can you hit next for me? Thank you. So benefits to the family, continuous guidance and support with no time restrictions. Education is probably the one thing on there that I would put most of my time and energy into, because death is not something that people talk about. It's not something that people want to bring up around Thanksgiving dinner. So, you know, grandma's 75, we need to talk about how this is going to happen. That very rarely happens. And then if you throw in family dynamics, that can be it can be filled with minds. So helping people navigate those minds, have them, you know, let's get it in writing, let's get a booklet, let's talk to people that are going to be doing the caregiving. Do you have somebody for caregiving, or are we just kind of flying blind here? So also compassionate presence throughout the dying process. One of the biggest things that I do is hold space. I don't know if y'all have heard that term before, but holding space is just basically being there, being present, being a witness to what's going on without getting wrapped up in it. So if somebody is mourning and crying, and I'm sitting next to them holding one, and I'm not as somebody who's also a loved one would be. So I'm the one that's clear-headed and be like, okay, I understand we can scream it out. Let's call it back so we don't scare the neighbors, you know. So holding space in a non-judgmental way. People have all sorts of different reactions to a dead body, to somebody who's actively dying, to the sounds of somebody who's dying. It's not unusual to have laughter. It's not unusual to have just complete and total shutdown. Basically, any range of emotions that can happen is equally on the board for happening. So having somebody present who can handle that and who can expect that is invaluable. Next, please. And benefits to the hospice. So, sorry. The median length of stay in hospice today is 20 days or less. And I personally think that should be a lot longer. Hospice is not just for people who are that close to crossing. Hospice is a huge support for people. They can provide a lot of resources, bereavement resources, chaplains. They can help with if there's a chronic illness that somebody's been dealing with for 20 some odd years and it's just now worsening. How do we deal with COPD at end stage? So that type of education and support is invaluable. The longer somebody has on hospice, the better the outcome is, meaning the better prepared the client is. The less trauma there is after the death. So that's what we say, and satisfaction. So people seem much more happy and willing to talk about their experience with hospice when they have a doula there to help kind of bridge, not even bridge the gap, because there isn't really a gap. It's mostly being able to communicate with hospice and knowing what to say. Having somebody who speaks the language of hospice helps things get across a lot easier. Next, please. So we are an intricate part of the main medical care team. We attend to all different aspects, the eyes and the ears of the hospice program, so we can connect with the nurse and the social worker and say, hey, I really think that the son maybe needs to have a visit from the social worker, whatever it is that might happen. This is a resurgence of an old profession. So back in the day, women had their babies at home and their grandparents died in their home. And it all happened kind of in one house. And then we got industrialized and modernized and medicalized, and it turned into something that we send grandma off to the hospital and we don't hear from her again. And we have the closed casket funeral. And so a lot of, well, that's perfect timing. A lot of what I do is bring back what people used to have as a common threat. There used to be somebody in the neighborhood, oh, somebody's passing away, call Shannon, or somebody's having a baby, call Susan. So this is bringing that back into the consciousness, back into the awareness. And with healthcare the way it is right now, that's actually a really good thing to have somebody in your back pocket that you can call. So that's the bulk of the presentation. I do have quite a few slides about questions, frequently asked questions. Where'd they go? The difference between a hospice nurse and an end-of-life doula. We talked about that a little bit. The nurse is credentialed. They have an RN, registered nurse. They go through several years of training. They can provide medications, that kind of thing. The next one is, what's the difference between a hospice volunteer and an end-of-life doula? On paper, there's not a lot of difference. However, volunteers are dispatched through the bubble of their hospice. So they are really only legally permitted to be there for a certain amount of hours per week. They are also not permitted to touch or feed. So there's no bathing, there's toileting, that kind of thing, which, I mean, as a volunteer, I wouldn't really want to be doing that anyways. But they are limited in doing that. So I don't have those limitations. My limitations, aside from medication, are what I feel comfortable with. That's a big difference there. And then, does insurance cover the services? No, we do not accept insurance. It's currently private pay. Most companion services are. Some states are making it possible for birth doulas to be part of their reimbursed care, which I think is absolutely amazing. So I have hopes that perhaps End of Life Doulas will again add on to that. Birth doulas began their resurgence about 40 years ago, and they're now pretty common. So I hope it doesn't take forever. It would be great if we could be included on insurance. And medications, no, we do not do any medications whatsoever. Can end-of-life doula help make funeral arrangements? Absolutely. That is part of our scope of practice. That is part of our bag of tools, is what we can offer. We can help with the vigil, the time of death, after death care, which most people are like, after death care, what's that? Well, you know, do you want them to take the blanket that they're in to the funeral home? What clothes do you want them to go in? Do you want to brush their hair? That type of thing. So the next one is medications, which we've already talked about. What services and support will hospice provide after a loved one has died? What does the doula provide? So bereavement doulas are a thing, and they specialize in bereavement alone. And they provide, they hold the space for bereavement. They can offer resources such as bereavement groups or counseling, that kind of stuff. They can say, this is who you should call, that kind of thing. That is not my niche, although I do usually do at least one visit post passing. My niche is more the vigil, the actual time of death. So that 24 hours is kind of my thing. But we can provide extended individual emotional support. So a bereavement doula can provide support for as long as they need, and not just for, 12 months, which is how long hospice is. Saying our chaplain will check in with you once a month for the next
12 months, that kind of thing. Every hospice is different. They all offer different things, but there is an end point to that, which doulas don't necessarily have. Let's see, do I have anything else? I think no one. Government licensure for end of life doulas. So end of life doulas are a non-medical profession. We are not regulated by any governmental license. You will hear people talk about being a certified end of life doula. There's 5 different schools that offer their own version of training. One of them is through INELDA, which is the International End of Life Doula Association. And they also work in they work together with the Hospice Association. So the Hospice Association, NHPCO, I think is what it's called. NHPCO has signed on, basically saying doulas are really good and we like this. So my particular training was with the class caregivers, where my teacher was an RN. She's a hospice RN for 40 some odd years. She's actually a founding member of INELDA. So it was a 3-week course, and I graduated January 1st. And if anybody has any questions, I know we've got some time crunch today. Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, I don't need the particulars, but like, how do you charge? Like, what, is it a package or X number of hours do you charge by the hour? I don't need to know the specifics.
I have a minimum package.
Okay.
So for somebody who wants doula services specifically, I do 2 visits prior to the vigil. I do the vigil, and then I do 1 visit post vigil. And I base that, my sister is actually a birth doula, and that's how she does her pregnancy packages. So they can choose how many visits they want, pre and post. And depending on the size of the package, I'm available for 6 hours during the vigil, 12 hours during the vigil, or we just want you here as long as it takes. And that changes the package. So.
Is there a question online?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Randy from Twilight Wish. I have 35 years in healthcare. Hospice is wonderful with the time allowed and what they're permitted to do in the healthcare facilities. However, you and doula sound wonderful. Being there, staying there with the person as needed, when needed. Are you just there in that area, or are you going to eventually be nationwide?
Me personally, or doulas in general?
You or doula in general?
Okay, so I can do teledoula work. So I can do it via Zoom and phone. I can provide very good support via Zoom and phone. I would not be able to do vigil work, but that's one of the reasons why I'm really working on my national network for local doulas. End of life doulas as a whole are very, I don't want to say they're common. We're here, we're around. Excuse me, my particular school that I went through, doulagivers.com, they have a clearinghouse where you can type in your state and see how many doulas come up. So I'm on there under Texas. I'm the only one on there under Texas. But the rest of the states are all there. And those are specifically trained and vetted through Suzanne's class. And we also do participate in continuing education every month. So.
Thank you. Continue. You're an angel.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm just going to make a statement. We're working with Shannon. This is Monica, mentor preferred. When I found out that Shannon was a thing, it was on one of these Zoom meetings. She introduced herself, and I thought, my God, that's probably an organic continuation of hospice services. My mom happens to be on hospice service right now, and I can't imagine not having somebody like Shannon in the room at the time. We don't have any idea what to expect. Yeah. And I know that that's going to be an emotional transition. So that presence is something I can't imagine not having. So we're trying to work with Shannon now so that when we present our hospice services, and she's a 100% correct. The nurse is going to be monitoring vitals and that kind of thing. The aide will be helping with things like turning the person or cleaning them, but the family is left with no one to comfort them or guide them through that situation unless they ask. And I personally wouldn't know what to ask until it happens.
Right.
So having somebody like Shannon there in the room, it's another arm of a hospice service that I think is invaluable. And for us to be able to present that to seniors as an option, I think is amazing. So I've been able to witness Shannon. We were able to work together with the client, and she's got this really calming, soothing effect on the patient and the family. So, I mean, I think it's something we should consider. If you have someone that, even if you don't know anybody that's there, presenting this as an option, it's just another way to wrap some loving arms around family. So I'm grateful that we do that.
Yes, ma'am.
I just kind of want to echo what Monica is saying. The first time I did a one-to-one with Shannon, she really walked me through what she does, not only for the patient, but for the family that she is there to support, because you are surrounded by your family, and many of us have not had the experience of watching a loved one transition from this earth to a non-earthly plane. And there are a lot of things that happen that she can explain. It takes it off of the hospice worker. It brings comfort to the family. So her position as a doula is not just for the person making this big transition or final transition. She's there to bring that added level to the family that has maybe not experienced this before. And after I talked with her, I was like, well, Shannon's going on my favorites as far as speed dial in case I ever find myself in this position, because I will need that added layer of love and support and somebody to help me walk through this with my loved one.
Any questions? Anything else that you'd like to know about me and what I do? Feel free to text me. My phone number is on the business cards. There's 2 business cards there. I was a patient advocate for the first part of my time with SEC, and then I got pulled into doula. It found me. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so I got my certification, and that's what I'm focusing on. I do still offer my patient advocate services, but.
We do have a few questions.
Okay.
Barry Crispin.
Barry?
Oh, there she is up there.
Yes, ma'am. Hi.
You're on mute. Barry, you're on mute.
She must be having technical difficulties. Randy, you had a question as well?
Yeah, real fast. Do you only work with people that are leaving the earth like we're discussing now? Or how about the people that have family members?
Can you hear me now? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, Barry.
You sound good.
Hold on just a minute, Barry.
Okay, do you only work with the people, unfortunately, that are leaving the world? Or have you looked into working with the families that have to place their loved ones in a memory care, which they have Lewy body dementia or Alzheimer's or dementia? They don't know how to deal with them, but they need people there with them kind of, during the week, holding their hand, making sure they get out of the rooms or whatever, and not depending on the activities people or the life enrichment people. Do you ever look into that?
Yeah, I absolutely do. When I first began, I had said that I wanted to be a transitional doula. So anytime any transitions are made from hospital to home, from home to nursing home, from this world into the next, whatever you may think that is. However, I typed in transitional doula online, and what came up was not something I wanted to label myself as. So I do offer that support. I offer that support to anybody. Even if there's not anybody in your circle or anybody around that is not dying or has that diagnosis. I mean, everybody's going to go through it. And so my services can be relevant from today to.
Thank you, Shannon. Keely has a question, and I think we lost Barry. So maybe she'll come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you may have already answered this, Shannon. I was just asking or wanting to ask, you know, when is the best time for somebody, say, you know, one of our nurses in our community or maybe a family member, you know, we know this person may need hospice or is on hospice, but when is the time that we say we might need to reach out to you and have you meet the family or contact the family or build that relationship? I mean, when is the best time?
Anytime somebody needs support.
Okay.
Whenever they need support, if you see them and they're just like, I don't know what to make of this diagnosis. I've been trained through the shock phase, which is when they find out about the diagnosis. There's the stabilization phase where they've kind of got things going. You know, we're settled, we know what's happening. And then there's the transitional phase when the person is actually actively dying. So any of those phases I can come on to, as far as I'm concerned, the sooner the better.
Thank you. And Barry, are you back? I see you were here.
I am. I think it's my internet. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to thank Shannon for doing this. And I was going to say, we've been looking for opportunities when families come in for pre-arrangements to introduce you, because I think it is important to, you know, work hand in hand. And if there's anything that we can do to help with the funeral part or cremations or celebrations of life, I'm here to help. So just wanted to put that out there.
And like I said, all of you guys are on my list of people to call when I connect up with somebody and they're just like, I've got so much to do and I have no idea who even to call. You know, I call our puzzle master, or so-and-so needs to be moved from nursing home to home and there's too much stuff and we've only got one room. I would call Elizabeth. We need to sell the house. I would call Bill. So all of those things that anybody would need support and guidance through would be something that I can do. And education to the general public is also one of my really big goals to do. So that's it.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you. Sorry. Hold on just a minute. Yeah. Thank you, Shannon. And that was a great presentation. And you guys know to reach out to her. We lost our TV here again, so we're just going to use the computer. But with that, we have Peter and the other folks. Heidi, was it? Hi, I'm sorry. With Twilight Wish, I know Peter and
Mary and Randy.
Mary and Randy. Okay, sorry about that. With an organization called Twilight Wish Foundation, started in Pennsylvania. I'm going to let Peter do the introduction on what they do. But the senior state councilor is looking at partnering with them to possibly start a chapter here. But you've heard of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, so it's similar but for seniors. So with that, Peter, would you like to go ahead and talk a little bit more about it?
Sure. Thank you, Bill, and thank you, everybody. It's nice to be with you today. It's the beauty of technology that I can be sitting here in the Philadelphia area and be live streamed into the Houston area. So thank you for your attention. I'm going to try to share my screen. Can you all see the TV, or are you still just looking through the laptop to see and hear me?
We're just doing laptop right at the moment. I'll try the TV again here in a minute, but it just keeps cutting out on us.
Okay. Whoever's the host, if you could allow me to share the screen or make me the co-host, I can share for at least those who are on the call, and then I can kind of run through the slideshow. And for those of you who are sitting there, if you can't see the screen, I will give you a briefing as best as possible, and I can make the slideshow available to Bill after the fact so you can review it. I'll try to be brief with it.
Peter, it'd be better if you don't share your screen because he just has a little laptop. If you could just tell us.
Okay. So I'll quickly then just go through who we are and what we do. We were founded in 2003. Our founder is still on the board of directors, and she started the organization because she paid for lunch for some seniors, and they were just so full of gratitude. She did it anonymously, but they insisted on knowing who she was, and she realized there was a huge need in the senior community. So the organization's mission is to honor and enrich the lives of seniors through intergenerational Twilight Wish celebrations with a vision to make the world a nicer place to age, one Twilight Wish at a time. Since we came into existence, we've granted over 4,500 wishes. So who qualifies for a wish? Minimum of 65 years old or resident of a permanent elder care facility. So it's not, doesn't have to be both. Legal US citizen, annual income of less than 200% of current federal poverty level, demonstrating a history of giving back to others throughout their lives. That can include service to the nation, community, or family. And they do have to have the cognitive, emotional, and physical ability to experience the wish. There's 4 types of wishes that Twilight Wish grants. We have a simple needs, which is our largest category, living life to the fullest, celebrating life, and we have a special designation for veteran wishes. To nominate a deserving senior, you can go on our website. I recommend anybody, if you have an opportunity, to check out our website. It's twilightwish.org. That's where we accept applications. But as Bill mentioned, Bill and I, as well as the team, have spoken about starting a chapter in the Houston area to start to grant some more wishes locally and have it fall under control with Bill and his team overseeing the operation. So I'll just quickly go through some examples of what these wishes would be. So simple needs, that might be a hearing aid, that could be a wheelchair ramp, and that could be a lift chair. So something that's a simple need. And in a lot of cases with budgets being tight, especially after the pandemic, the simple needs requests have climbed. Living life to the fullest. One example of this was a wish we granted for somebody who lives in the local Philadelphia area to attend the Rosie the Riveter reunion. And she was one of the original Rosie the Riveters. And actually, after this wish was granted, went on to get a special designation by Congress, which was really neat. That's a story for another day. And living life to the fullest also includes like going back to maybe a place of employment, somewhere where you worked. We granted a wish for somebody to go back to the Philadelphia Police Headquarters when they had retired for a number of years. It was a nice experience for him to return. Celebrating a life. This would be like taking a hot air balloon ride, something maybe somebody always wanted to do. And of course, we talked about veteran wishes. They fall into the other 3 categories, but that could include wishes like we've granted, such as getting a new flagpole or granting a wish for a World War II veteran, which was my first wish that I was part of 10 years ago, to go to his Marine reunion. He was in World War II and he wanted to attend the 6th Marine Division reunion, and Twilight Wish paid for him to be able to do that. So as we talked about, we are looking to start a chapter in the Houston area. I will send this slideshow out that we can't view right now to Bill, and he can send out the information. It does have some nice pictures and further information. And I do recommend checking us out on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn. And our website has links to those as well at twilightwish.org. I appreciate the opportunity to join everybody today. And I'm joined by, like Bill mentioned, my great staff members, Mary Farrell and Randy Duretz, who bring our mission to life. It's a small but mighty staff covering the entire country. We can only do so with the support of community support and generosity, as well as volunteers. That was a pretty quick briefing. Are there any questions about Twilight Wish?
You covered it pretty well, Peter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And Bill, thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you guys very much for,
How do you
oh,
raise-
wait, there is one question.
How do you raise money for granting a wish? Like, how do you, okay, you ask for the wish, they say yes, so how does that wish come true?
Did you hear the question?
Yeah, so how does the wish come true? So really right now on a local level, the local chapters are raising funds to grant wishes in their local communities. So the model is still a smaller organization. So we are dependent on local community support to grant these wishes. In some cases, it's just through individuals making contributions to the website. When you go on the website, you'll notice we do list open wishes. And sometimes you'll have donors that come in and they like a wish or two, and they will just fund the entire wish, and that will grant the wish right there. We also have restricted funding in some cases that are for wishes in certain geographic areas. And certainly we had discussed with Bill, should we get a Houston chapter underway, we would do everything that we could to try to help for funding in the Houston area for you all to grant wishes for seniors that you're connected with, but would certainly need help with anyone in your network to help us with the funding for that.
Yep, very good. Any other questions?
How long does it take when someone applies and requests a wish to be filled? How long does it normally take between the request and the fulfillment?
Usually it's Mary can touch on this a little bit further. Usually it's a couple of weeks. It's usually about a week or two. And then the wish committee, we have a wish committee who votes on it. They do have to fall within the qualifications. That being said, there are some wishes that are granted that fall just outside the qualifications. So when in doubt, we would always suggest applying, but it's usually about a week or two. And it can be sometimes more depending upon when the application is submitted. It also depends on if we're waiting on pertinent documentation to get the file filled out completely.
Peter, I have a question. What type of qualifications are required?
Sure. So the person has to be 65 years old or a permanent resident in elder care facility. They have to be a legal U.S. citizen, have an annual income of less than 200% of current federal poverty level, demonstrating a history of giving back to others throughout their lives. That can be service to the nation, community, or family. And they have to have the cognitive, emotional, and physical ability to experience the wish.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Bill, I have a request.
Okay.
Everybody here, please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications. All of our videos are going up on YouTube, and we would love to have more interaction with everyone here, sharing it out to their community.
Yes.
Thank you.
That reminder, and Facebook as well, and LinkedIn, right?
That's right.
There goes our TV. We're not gonna mess with it again. Well, thank you, Peter and Randy and Mary for being here today. Hopefully Shannon's presentation was very useful to you. Sorry. I mean, it was I'm glad that you guys were able to stay on. Sorry, the TV is bugging us. Glad that you guys could stay on and join us today. And
I'll see what I can do about the TV for next time.
no problem. And be part of our meeting today. Really was useful. And we look forward very much to partnering up with you guys soon. And I want to say thank you, Lori, for bringing Twilight Wish to us. I think Lori met with, I'm not sure, who did you meet up there?
Those people.
Those people, okay. I don't remember Paris, so okay.
Well, my partner sits on the board.
Oh, okay.
But
Please do.
Thank you. Is everybody familiar with the Houston Gerontological Society? Okay. So AJ has been another association geared towards networking and education for the last 2 years. Because of the pandemic, we've been having a meeting by Zoom, like almost everybody else, and we can't really attempt to go back to in-person, but we're going back to in-person. So we're very happy about that. On Tuesday next week, this coming Tuesday, well, next Tuesday actually, the Gardens of Bel Air, and the format is it's evening format. So you come starting at 5:30 for the first hour, so networking with a drink and some bites, and then we go for a seated dinner with a speaker and a free CEU for nurses, case manager, and social workers. While the CEU is free for the members, the event is free for members, $25 for non-members. If you're interested, I'll send you the invite. I think it's a great opportunity to meet. Yes.
Not for November. Talk into the camera.
All right. Hi, everyone. It's been way too long. I really miss every one of y'all. So I just needed to give y'all some exciting news. Honestly, I see it as groundbreaking for the industry. So the Senior Helpers has now embarked, we're really changing courses of how we're doing things. And we now have what we call life profile. It's very extensive, but in a nutshell, what it is it's based on 20 years of research or 75,000 seniors lives research, and over 300 organizations utilized for this research, including Mayo Clinic and Harvard University. And essentially what all this research compiled to is it gave us the ability to scientifically predict the likelihood of someone ending up in the hospital, like a 3-night hospitalization or more within the next 6 months. And not only that, but how can we significantly reduce that risk? A quick example, just last week, I met with a family. We found somebody that was, I can't say 100%, so I have to legally say over 80%, but pretty much they were going to end up in the hospital. And with some simple changes, not complicated at all, simple changes that we made, some of it involved us, some of it involved some of our partners here, that risk is significantly reduced to under 10%. So I know that's very appealing to many of us in this room. And I just wanted to announce that I'm very excited. And I truly believe that doing what we do, not just me, a lot of us here, we extend people's lives. And this is just another step in that direction into helping extend people's lives. And just for us, it also what it does, it gives me more opportunity to identify more things that can be of service for the family, such as durable medical equipment, or maybe some respite, etc. Whatever. It just, we look at a holistic view, not just what senior helpers can do, but how can we help the family as a whole. We look at the house, we look at the situation, the support system, we look at everything. And we can help with some of that, but y'all can help with the rest. Insurance is involved with that. And